Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our IT parent training on Infinite Campus. We still have some people trickling into the webinar, so I'd like to give it a couple minutes before we go ahead and start. Thank you all for attending this morning, and we'll get started here real soon. All right, good morning again, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Just wanted to do some brief introductions. My name is Ryan Dorsey. I'm the Director of Information Technology for the Lewis Center, which covers both our schools, the Academy for Academic Excellence and Norton Science and Language Academy. Also on the line, we have our IT manager, Michael Allen. We have our technician, Michael Clark. We have Ricky Baca, who will be leading the presentation today and is our SIS guru. And we also have Tony Preciado, who will be assisting us with Spanish translations and also does EdTech support in our classrooms. If you do have any questions, feel free to use the questions over in the control panel. We'll gather those up and potentially answer them during the presentation or wait until the end. I want to thank you for joining, and go ahead and take it away, Ricky.
All right, thank you very much, Ryan. Let me share my screen with you all so you can see our slide deck that we're going to use today.
Hey, Ricky.
Yes.
Can I just translate what Ryan said just in case if we have any?
Yes, please. Thank you so much, Tony.
Buenos días, me llamo Tony Preciado. Estoy aquí para apoyar con la traducción en español. El señor Ryan Dorsey está encargado de nuestro departamento de tecnología. También Ricky Baca va a presentar hoy. Entonces, cualquier pregunta que tiene en español lo puede escribir en la sección donde dice questions o preguntas y yo les ayudo. Y también yo me quedaré después si tienen preguntas en español con quien le puedo ayudar. Thanks, Ricky.
Thank you, Tony, very much. Awesome. And so we're glad to be here. We're glad to be able to have this training for our parents for Infinite Campus, which was the student information system that was adopted by the Lewis Center in 2020-2021 school year. And so we're excited to share with you some of the features. If you haven't had a chance to go in and check some of these out, we hope that you get a chance to learn some new things here for the parents. And so this training is going to consist of two different things. We're going to have a slide deck that's going to highlight some of the features, and then we're going to actually go into a demonstration, a live demo, to show you some of those things in action. So our first slide here is logging into the Infinite Campus Parent Portal. So we've made it really easy for you. You notice there, all you have to do is log in at icparent.lewiscenter.org. Really simple and helpful, so you don't have to try to remember a long link. Plus, on our website, at each school website and on the main Lewis Center website, we'll also see that there is an area here called Campus Portal. And when you click on that, it will take you also to the parent login also. So wonderful ability for you to be able to go and click on those. Now, your username and passwords are ones that you would have created when you set up your account. And so make sure you remember those usernames and passwords. Keep them secure, but those are the ones that you'll use. Now, if you haven't created an account, then we can help you at the IT department, our help desk, to help you get that account. So you notice here there is an email address, helpdesk@lewiscenter.gethelphss.com. If you send us a ticket, you'll be able to communicate with our fantastic IT department through our support tickets. We'll be able to help you get the access code you need and the instructions to help you sign on and be able to get your account set up and ready to go for your students, for your children. We do want to encourage you, at least one parent in each family, to at least have an account and to check in regularly, perhaps even weekly if possible. As we go through, you're going to notice how helpful that's going to be for you. So we really want to encourage as many of our parents to get an account into Infinite Campus Parent Portal as much as possible. So what would you see when you first log in? Well, when you first log in, the first page is this page right here, this message center and inbox. Now, the difference between the announcements and the inbox, announcements will show you important school-wide information. From time to time, principals or perhaps school staff or even district staff will put announcements in here that would be great for you to know when you first log in. Now, when you click on the inbox, it will show you messages that have been sent to you either from the school or from teachers. So that's helpful for you to know right there at the very beginning. Those are the things that you're going to be alerted to first. Now, let's go into settings first before we talk about other areas of the portal, because settings is where you would want to go first to set up some crucial and important settings for your account. When you click on the person icon in the top right-hand corner of the parent portal, you'll be able to click on there and you'll see a screen that kind of appears that will allow you to access different settings. So you can change settings. You can also change your language. If you prefer Spanish or a different language, you would be able to change it there too. And if you did want to give feedback back to Infinite Campus, you would be able to use that button to give feedback that would go straight to Infinite Campus about their portal website or app. Under settings, though, is what we're going to focus on. Settings has these settings here, and we're going to go into each one of these. Notification settings, account settings, contact preferences, current devices, and access log. Let's start with notification settings. This is a great feature of Infinite Campus Parent Portal. You can adjust what kind of notifications you would receive through the app or perhaps through other ways in this case. And so you can select what notifications you would like to receive. Notifications are deleted after 30 days. So you can notice here, you could have it when a assignment has been scored for one of your students' assignments, your children's assignments, all scores, or you can adjust this bar to what type of assignments or what type of scores. What about when the grade has been updated? You would be able to change that for maybe you want to see when they got a C or B or D, or maybe all grades. You would be able to use that. Because Infinite Campus is tied into our lunch system, you're also able to see lunch balance for those who would be having lunch balances. You would be able to know when that balance is low, and then that way you would be able to make sure that you send money with your child to replenish that lunch balance. You can also see when attendance has been updated, attendance from the teacher or from the school regarding an absence, perhaps even a non-virtual participation for virtual attendance. And documents requiring e-signature or any courses that have been scheduled that were responsive can be shown here too. So great area. I definitely encourage you when you first get your account, make sure you've gone through the notifications. Now these notifications don't come out as emails, they come in as notifications in that inbox that we showed to you earlier up here. This inbox is where those notifications will show up. So make sure you're checking in for those. You also, if you're using the app on your through the Google Play Store or the iPhone App Store, you'll be able to see notification settings that show up for that also. The account settings is important for making sure you have a security email. This is a backup email so that way, for some reason, if you're locked out of the account, it can send you a password reset. So this is important. Make sure that you put in an account security email. We encourage it. That way you're not locked out of your account. Of course, if you need help and you do get locked out and you're not too sure what the security email is, let us know and help at the help desk and we'll help you out. You can also change your password if you need to. And an e-signature pin can also be added. This is important when you are using e-signature for documents like the COVID-19 acknowledgement form or other forms that we may start using more throughout the process. You'll want to have an e-signature pin for that. Contact preferences. This is another important setting. You'll notice here that this is where your phone that we have that you've given to us has been entered in here, whether it be your cell phone, work phone, another phone like your home phone, and your email address would show up in here too. But you could make those changes. You could change perhaps how you want things to be sent to you, the preferred language and how you would like them to be, maybe even a secondary email address. And you can change how you would like them to show here. So definitely take some time to look at these contact preferences. Make sure the phone is correct. Make sure the email is correct. And if you'd like a secondary way to be contacted, let us know. This will help us to make sure that we are able to contact you when we need to. And we'll show this a little bit more in the live demo. So that's the basics of the settings. Let's go into the actual app itself and what you can do with the app. Or the parent portal, excuse me, because it is just not only just an app, but also the website. This is the Today page. And you'll notice on the left-hand side, all of these will show, and we'll show you that in the live demo. But the Today page will show you an overview of your student and what they have going on for the day. Really, it kind of encompasses all kinds of things you would find on the other different tools or pages and puts it all into one page right here. The schedule they would have, what their day schedule looks like. If this says virtual right next to it, that means that it's a virtual day for them today. If it doesn't, that means it's a physical attendance day for them. It will also show you their student number, their food service balance, assignments that are due today, due tomorrow, and any documents that you need to sign that need your attention. On the top right-hand corner, next to there, you'll see that one of your students' names will show there, one of your children's name. If you have multiple children who go to either AAE or NSLA, you will be able to click on this box and you'll be able to change to be able to look at other students, your other children that you may have that go to the school. So that's great. One account, you'll be able to access all of your children there through one account. So you can switch between your students by clicking on their name at the top right of the page and select one of the other students. The next page is the calendar page. The calendar will show assignments due, the schedule, and attendance, as you can tell through these different tabs right here. You can look at it by assignments, what they have coming up, what's been assigned to them, or even past history. Their schedule, which you can see what their schedule would look like for that day, or their attendance based on their calendar there too. So a nice way to see ahead or even past or even today what's going on with those three subjects in mind. Our next page is the assignments page. This is a great page for you to find a little bit more information about what's happening with your child's assignments. Upcoming, completed, and missing assignments can all be found here, along with the scores they've received on those assignments. You'll be able to even click on these little arrows to find out a little bit more information about what the teacher could share with you about that. And of course, any ones that are missing, you'll be alerted to just like this. That could be helpful and crucial to make sure that perhaps maybe your child didn't miss an assignment they didn't realize, or that they're not falling behind in the subject. What a great resource this can be to help you in the development of your child in his progress. The next slide, the next page is grades. This is where you'll be able to see in progress grades. In progress means they're grades that are happening right now in the grade book, as well as what grades did they receive for previous terms. Current quarter grades can be found on the grades page. And so as you can see, the quarter grade right here for this one student is showing up as a B- and they're in progress. Now, sometimes you'll see multiple periods like this, and a lot of the time that happens especially at the AAE middle school and high school level, because within one term, we'll have different grading periods, like an academic warning and a quarter grade. But really, you just need to pay attention to the grades that are showing in the in progress right now. And then if they did receive an academic warning, it would show here. And you could also go back into other terms to see past history of grades that had been posted also. Very helpful to be able to see that history. The gradebook updates is next. This will list everything a student has been graded on and the status and score of that assignment. So Again, a little bit just like that assignments page, but again, it gives you a little bit more information about the latest updates, what class it has been, and information again about that status and score. So really how wonderful it communicates to you about how your child is doing with their grade and their assignments and what you can do to help them out. The attendance page is a page that is important to check also. It shows the overall attendance for your student in each term. Now you can click on any of the rows and you'll be able to see that missing attendance. You'll be able to see some more information about that absence. And as you can see, there's even some information up here on the show more where you'll be able to understand how attendance is being based on. This comes straight from our attendance office at both schools, and you'll be able to also have the phone number so you can contact the attendance clerk and let them know if there was any, perhaps any corrections that need to be made about attendance. But it is really important that you check to make sure, because we don't want attendances to add up for your child when perhaps maybe they were on and maybe it was just a mistake in putting in those attendance marks or not. So your help in checking this page is going to be really helpful for us and important for you as a parent also. So we encourage you to check the attendance page. The schedule page shows their schedule for each term, including any day rotations. You'll be able to see that all shown through here. Schedules can be shown for the whole year, all terms, or all of the students' enrollment. Some very good basic information. If you want to go a little deeper into the schedule, this is where you would be able to go to. The next page is our food service. Again, one of the great features of having Infinite Campus with the parent portal is the fact that we are able to also add in our food services into one program. And now we're able to share that on the parent portal like this. You will be able to access their current account balance for both students right here on the food service, or perhaps multiple students you may have. As well as when you click on the arrow, you'll be able to look at recent account transactions, their history, any credit adjustments that was on that account too. This will be extremely helpful, especially as students are coming back onto campus and using the food service even more so. The documents tool is where you can view documents relating to your child, such as their most recent report card shown here, or even custom forms sent to us by the school, sent to you. Take, for example, that parent guardian COVID-19 acknowledgement form that many of you were able to sign and complete so that your child could come back to school. We appreciate you filling those out and using Infinite Campus parent portal to do so. And it even shows it's been complete. And if you click on it, you could even see a copy of it for your own self to have, as well as the report cards, previous report cards. We try to make sure that they're available, if possible, to be put in here. Now, if you don't see the report card in here, that's not to say it's not available. It just may need to be put on, or there may be a reason why. We just have to double check with the school administration to make sure that those are taken care of. But the documents tool is where you'll be able to see those things. And then there's a more page. And the more brings you to more options that you can do. You'll be able to update or view the following things through more. Address information. If you've changed your address or you have a new mailing address, it is important for us to know those things. We need to know what your new addresses are so that we get communication out to you correctly with our mailing labels, plus other things that to tie into your mailing information is important. So make sure that address information is being updated. Assessments, you'll be able to see through this page previous assessments of your students when they took CASP, the state standardized testing. And so you'll be able to see their scores for how well they did with reading, writing, and other subjects in that CASP, in that assessments page. Demographics is where you are able to change any information about the student that's allowable, and you can also view if you see some errors. You'll be also notified of the way to contact our registrar to update that. Family information is also helpful because this is where you will be able to update emergency contacts, which is important also. Important dates is great because they will highlight perhaps school in-service days, school holidays, or any other things that have been mentioned that are important dates. So you'll be able to go here and notice when those dates are. Meal benefits. You'll be able to create a meal plan. You'll be able to also work together with signing up for an online application for lunch application. And what a great opportunity for those who need that to be able to use this website and the portal to do that. And then online registration, which is coming soon. This is an area that not only for new students coming in, you'll use this online registration, but during the year, it'll be a great area for online registration for to note if you're going to be returning next year. Uh, we usually had an intent to return form before at certain times of our year during for the school. Well, the online registration will be able to highlight that, plus allow you to update any vital information that you need to. And so we'll be rolling that out soon, and you'll be getting more information about online registration for the rest of this year and for new students coming in next year. There's a lot of information we probably covered, and I haven't even gotten a chance to see how many questions there are. But are there any questions? Let's take a pause. Is there any questions that we needed to answer that before we jump into our demonstration?
Okay, there was just a quick question about the URL where parents can go. That URL is icparent.lewiscenter.org.
Let me bring that back up here too. Thank you so much for sharing that, Ryan. So yes, there's the login, there's the URL right there, http://icparent.lewiscenter.org. Very good. Any other questions? All right, then let's jump into a demo real quick. So hopefully you can see as I'm going to this demo here, I'm going to log in under a test account. icparent is this parent's username, and we'll put in their password. If I can actually type it, it would even be better. And we're not going to save any passwords right now. There we go. And so here's how it looks like. Again, our message center shows up right here. You'll notice one other thing that shows up nicely right here is this little notifications. So we mentioned when you set up those notification preferences, those notifications will show you right here certain things. Take, for example, one student here, Joe, received a score of 9 out of 10. He's got a missing here. He's got other grades and other things missing here. He has an updated grade of a B- in history. And it'll also show us if he was absent any days also. So this notifications can be really helpful to see what the status is. There's our announcements in our inbox. No messages coming in, but no doubt our teachers love to communicate with our parents. So inbox is definitely where you'll see a lot of those happening. Up here in this top right hand corner is where we mentioned how you could change those settings, the language. And so again, these settings are really important. Notification settings, making sure you can choose when you would like that lunch balance. If it dropped below 30, if an assignment you wanted, if it was an assignment that was scored less than 55% or even higher, or if the grade was updated in the class altogether, their in progress grade, and it was less than a certain percentage, that's where we would be able to change those and hit save, and you would get those notifications. That way you can manage what level of notifications you would like on every single thing or just on things that may need your attention. The contact preferences was again another important thing. As you notice here, here's our cell phone, here's our email address, but down here is where it's really important. When you have your email and your phone set up for messaging, you'll see an email here, and you can change. You would like to get an email for attendance, general, emergency, food services. Now you wouldn't want one for behavior. If you would like that, of course, you could chime in for that. Teacher, you could get one for teacher notifications from there when a teacher contacts you. And the priority isn't really in use any longer. The emergency has taken over priority, so you don't need to use that. And if your cell phone has been set up as that also, you'll see your phone right here, and you'll be able to change the functions for voice and text notifications there too. Very important. So we encourage you to make sure that you go and visit those two places. Now let's jump into what we showed you on the slide. Here is our today page. We notice our student, he's got his food service balance. He has no assignments due today or tomorrow. That's great. No documents. I notice here his schedule though. This is excellent. This is a virtual day. Wednesday is our virtual day, no matter which cohort you're part of. And there it is. It shows that it's virtual for him. So that's great. And he only has one class today, and that's the homeroom class. And we know what time it's from, what the teacher is, and what the room number is too. Very helpful information all right here on the homepage. The calendar, as we mentioned, shows in exactly what we've talked about, when you can change for what their attendance was, and you see that these little dots will tell you when something happened. When you click on it, there's an absent unknown. I wonder what's happening. Again, you can look back at different months to see information for that too. Perhaps if they were absent on another day, it would show also in here. So how helpful this calendar function can be to highlight attendance, schedules. Take, for example, you see next week, it's a holiday, spring break. That's great. But if you want to see what their schedule will look like the next week after that, here's that day, Monday. Okay, there's their Tuesday, Wednesday, and you'll be able to see when they have virtual, and not because that virtual will show up right here next to the day. That could be very helpful. So you know, if your student is going to be starting school here with physical attendance, you'll know which days he's supposed to be there physically and which days virtually. And assignments, if a teacher has scheduled assignments in advance, you'll be able to see those also here with those black dots right underneath the date. Our assignments tab, as we mentioned, will highlight more information about that, what's been missing, what's in the current term. And of course, when you click on any of those, you can see there's a history of it. If you only want to see the ones for just this term, you would just click on that. Or if you only want to see those that are missing, you can click on it. When you click on it, you'll get a little bit more information about what's going on. What were they supposed to do, their summary, the settings, the grading, what's going on, the average score for the class too. That's all very helpful information underneath the assignments. As we mentioned, the grades is where you'll be able to see their in progress right here, as well as if they received an academic warning, if they're in AAE middle school, high school, and plus previous grades too. And so they'll be able to see how things worked out, even in certain other things like citizenship and work habits. And then elementary, you'll be also able to see those for standard-based grading too. So that's very helpful to see the progress of your student with those standards at elementary levels. Gradebook updates, as we mentioned, is very similar to assignments, but it's just updates to let you know what's been happening, no matter which class and what time period it is. Again, when you click on it, it takes you to that same information about that assignment that we saw earlier there too. Attendance, here's that show more if you'd like to know some more information about what is, how the attendance is being based on, the contact information to reach our attendance clerk to verify absences, and what absences they had. And then you can do it by a term, and you could look in there and say, okay, what day was it? Okay, here it is. Third period, Thursday, 3/11, unknown. Well, let's find out what's going on. Maybe we need to give a call and either verify that absence or let them know something was not right on that. You'll be able to see totals here too. We showed our schedule on the front page, which is extremely helpful, but when you're in the main section, the schedule will show even more information here too. Because this is a demo site, it doesn't show much, but when you're under your schedule, should show you more information about the term and scheduling for upcoming classes or the classes they have right now, or even the history. As we mentioned, Foodservice will also highlight, let me refresh this page. Foodservice will also highlight their balances and any recent transactions for them. So here, our students is $12, and you can see there was a deposit made here. And we can even change the last time frame. So we could see another transaction history, perhaps which day they bought lunch, things other like that too. Any credits or any adjustments will also show up here too. And as we mentioned, documents is where you would see for those ones that require e-signature, or also for those that for report cards that are shown here by the school. The more is where we were talking about other things. We have some quick links to our website, both to the main district site and to the school site. For each school, they will be respective to their school. Address information is where you would see where your student's household is, the primary mailing, and you could click update right here. You could change it. You can make a PO box. You can make whatever the primary address is, the reason why. Send mail to it and hit the comments. it will go to our registrars where they will be able to see that and accept those changes, or perhaps even reach out to you if they had any questions about what you inputted. But an important place for you to update your mailing addresses if they have changed. As we mentioned, the assessments is where you'll be able to see CASP information. There's none for this student right here, but if you have a student who has taken CASP back in 2019, 18, 2017, they will show up here. Demographics is also where you're able to see information about your student and create new non-household relationships, such as those emergency contacts. Here we have an emergency contact set up, but there's no phone for the grandmother for this relationship here. So we could add the phone if we wanted to, email for that person. If there's information about this student, we can update that and send that to the registrar, and they'll be able to add it or accept it or let us know if there's any questions. And you can always add a new contact, perhaps somebody who you would like to add as an emergency contact right here. What's their relationship type to them? Legal guardianship if they are an emergency priority. So that way you could say, okay, in an emergency, I want this person called first and then this person called second. Very helpful to do that all right through here. We've talked about demographics also. That's where we were just at. Family information tells you about other students who may be all together in here, and you could update all of these also right through here. So here you have information about not only your student, but a sibling or from the parent right there. Important dates, as we mentioned, is exactly what it does. It'll tell you when certain breaks are. Here we know starting next week is spring break. I'm sure you parents are looking forward to it, and I'm sure your students are looking forward to also. And we also know what other days are coming up, like a holiday on May 31st, abbreviated or minimum day on the last day of school on 6/10. And meal benefits is where you can fill out that application for lunch for free and reduced. And online registration will be highlighted more later about how you can be able to fill out the online registration here, which is not currently open right now. So that's a nutshell of the demo right there. And again, very helpful. Now, if you're on a phone, this is formatted to fit your phone. What this will do is this menu will kind of drop in and out so that way more screen space is allowed to the main portal page on your phone. But you can always click this to hide or show the menu bar right here on the side. So very helpful on that too. So let me see, was there any questions about anything that we've covered here so far?
Baka, this was fantastic. Thank you so much for doing this.
You're very welcome.
All
Very welcome.
right. Let's go ahead and open it up for those questions. If you have any, we've been answering them as we've gone through the presentation. But if you have any additional questions or there's anything we can help you with, please go ahead and chime in with those questions, and we'll share them with everybody in the audience.
I was just looking at some of them too, and I noticed that schedule tab. I do believe the schedule tab, there's something happening through Infinite Campus. And so I've got a ticket into Infinite Campus about that schedule tab. Not only is it locking up, it seems like on the app, but also on the website. As you notice, when I was doing that with the schedule tab, when I changed to a different menu like the food service, I had to refresh the page. So I know that there's something that's being addressed, and I think there's an update that's going to be coming out tonight for that. But we'll keep you all in touch with that, and hopefully the schedule tab gets to work, gets to working really good.
All right, it looks like there's no more questions coming in. It doesn't need to be IC related. You have nearly the entire IT department, so we're happy to answer or ponder any questions that you may have about other areas of information technology for your student. So we'll go ahead and leave it open for a couple more minutes here. Thank you all for attending. We really appreciate your support. It's obviously been a trying year for all of us, but as we begin to bring our students back more and more, I'm seeing happy faces on each campus, both staff and students, and we really appreciate all your support during this time.
And then, of course, one more thing to add, if there's any feedback you would like to see that can help you out with this portal, feel free to let us know. We would be more than happy to share that with Infinite Campus. Of course, you have that feedback button in there too, but really the feedback that you provide as parents is helpful to Infinite Campus, so they can continue to keep updating the portal and the app to make it more functional for you too. And so feel free to share with us any of that, and then feel free to use the leave feedback also in the app. We'll do our best to help out with that.
There's a question of when our staff is on site. So we have staff every day at each site from 7:30 to 3:30. So if you could give us a call ahead of time, just so that we can expect you whenever you'll be bringing in a device, or so that we can help you remotely to see if we can mitigate the need for you to come in, that would be great. So if you call into the Lewis Center for your Norton help desk technicians, that extension is 789. And for the AAE, that extension is 435. All right, looks like no more questions. Again, I want to thank you all for attending. We'll be working on upcoming trainings as well. We'll send out a survey to see what areas you would like us to cover. And thank you again for attending. Have a great day, everyone.